Welcome to Urban Living with Swarna. This is your cozy corner in the chaos of city life, where we tune in for soulful chats on travel, nutrition, mental clarity, and simple habits to help you breathe easier, live better, and glow from the inside out. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Urban Living with Swarna. In this episode, we are diving deep into healthy fats, separating fact from fiction and explaining the essential function in a balanced diet. This episode is a must listen for anyone who is interested in nutrition or dieting. In this episode, we are also going to debunk common myths surrounding fats and the essential fats that you should be including in your diet. Most people are afraid of fats. The myth is, if you eat fats, you'll get fat. Fat has been villainized in movies, in diets, in headlines for decades now. Think of Snackwell's low-fat cookies marketed as healthy because they had little to no fat, even though they were loaded with sugar. Something equally stupid we see in supermarkets today. Something called skimmed milk, even though it's marketed as healthy, especially for people who are trying to lose weight. But is it really true? Is it? Is it really healthy for our bodies? The answer is no. People born in the 90s would definitely remember Time magazine's cover from March 26, 1984, titled Cholesterol Now the Bad News. It became one of the most iconic, I'm not even sure if iconic is the right word to use, but controversial for sure, health covers ever published in history. The image showed two sunny-side-up eggs and a slice of bacon arranged to form a sad face. The message was simple but powerful. Cholesterol and saturated fats, found in eggs and bacon to be exact, are dangerous for your heart. In the early 1980s, mainstream medical advice and media heavily pushed the cholesterol hypothesis. The idea that eating foods high in cholesterol and saturated fat, like eggs, butter, red meat, directly caused heart disease. This led to a massive public shift. Low-fat, high-carb diets became the norm. People avoided eggs, butter, and red meat. Food companies launched low-fat and cholesterol-free processed foods, often loaded with sugar and refined carbs. And guess what? People bought it. But here's where it gets interesting and ironic. Science changed decades later, but the damage was done. By the late 1990s and 2000s, new studies showed dietary cholesterol doesn't significantly raise blood cholesterol for most people. The real culprits in heart disease turned out to be trans fats, refined carbs, and overall inflammation. Not your eggs, not your beef, not your butter. In fact, eggs were later found to be nutrient-dense and heart-healthy for most people. In 2014, Time flipped its message. Time published another cover that said, "Eat butter. Scientists labeled fat the enemy, why they were wrong." It directly contradicted the 1984 stance. The very foods they once demonized, butter, eggs, bacon, were now being re-evaluated and not nearly as harmful as they once claimed. The low-fat hysteria fueled decades of processed food marketing. Fat-free cookies, yogurt, cereals packed with sugar became the bestsellers, worsening obesity and diabetes rates worldwide. Here's a clear comparison of obesity, diabetes, and Alzheimer rates in the US. About 42% of adults are obese in US. 38 million people, that's about 11% of the entire population, are diabetics. 6.5 million people aged 65 plus are battling Alzheimer's or dementia. And this number is projected to double by 2050. If I talk about India, we're not far too behind. India has over 100 million diabetics, earning it the nickname diabetes capital of the world. And about 25% of urban adults overweight or are obese. The hypocrisy lies in how media and big industry shaped public health policy, demonizing real natural foods and pushing artificial processed ones. Decades later, they quietly admitted they were wrong. Yet, even today, with all the research available, major organizations still ignore the truth. That's why this episode matters. To break the misinformation cycle. Fats don't directly turn into body fat, if that's what you're thinking. When you eat healthy fat in reasonable amounts, the keyword here is reasonable, Your body uses them for energy, hormone production, and building cells. Also, calories matter. Eating more calories than your body needs, could be any source, be it carbs, proteins, or fats, will lead to weight gain. So it's important to understand when you eat healthy fats, they digest more slowly. So they help curb cravings and prevent overeating. It's not the other way around. Not all fats are equal. The key is focusing on quality. Healthy fats like avocados, nuts, seeds, olive oil, coconut oil, fatty fish, they support your heart health, brain function, and provide steady energy throughout the day. Whereas if I talk about unhealthy fats, those would be your trans fats, fried foods, packaged snacks, too much processed anything can harm your heart health and trigger inflammation. We'll discuss the different kind of fats, the good, the bad, and the misunderstood. We'll talk about how fats actually work in your body and which ones protect your heart and brain, and which ones silently cause inflammation. By the end, you'll know exactly what to keep on your plate and what to throw out for good. Myth number 1. Cholesterol is not the enemy. For years, cholesterol has been treated like a villain, blamed for clogged arteries, heart disease, and everything in between. Many people still think they need to avoid eggs and or butter at all costs to keep cholesterol low. But here's the truth. Cholesterol is not the enemy. Your body actually makes cholesterol on its own, about 75% of it, because it's essential for survival. The goal isn't to eliminate cholesterol, but to understand how it works and focus on balance. Think of cholesterol as a vital building block. It plays key roles in cell membranes. That's right, every single cell in your body needs cholesterol to stay stable and healthy. Cholesterol is also the raw material for estrogen, testosterone, cortisol, or more. Hence, it's important to maintain healthy hormonal balance. Your body also uses cholesterol to make vitamin D when you get sunlight. Additionally, it also helps you digest fats from your meals. Without enough cholesterol, your body simply can't function properly. And that's the truth. The real issue is the type of cholesterol. When doctors talk about cholesterol being bad, they're usually referring to LDL cholesterol, often known as bad cholesterol. Let's understand what it means. If you go get a blood test done to check your heart, 2 terms you'll want to keep an eye on are LDL, and the second one is HDL. Think of cholesterol like deliveries happening inside your body. This is just an easy example to actually understand how it works. Your LDL is like an Amazon delivery truck. It carries cholesterol and fats to your cells, delivering what your body needs for repair and hormone production. So when there are too many trucks, or let's say when they're damaged, they start dropping packages on the road. In this case, your arteries, creating blockages over time. Now your HDL is the garbage pickup truck. It drives around collecting the extra cholesterol that's lying around and takes it back to the liver for disposal. The more HDL you have, the cleaner your roads will be, or in this case, the cleaner your arteries will be. Now, as discussed, LDL delivers cholesterol where it's needed, but too much can lead to dangerous buildup in arteries. Whereas HDL removes excess cholesterol, keeping blood vessels healthy. Maintaining a balance, lowering LDL, and raising HDL is key to cardiovascular health and overall well-being. When it comes to keeping your heart in top shape, it's not about avoiding the bad stuff. It's about feeding your body the right fats, antioxidants, nutrients that actively protect your arteries, lowers your LDL, and raises your HDL. But LDL isn't inherently harmful. It's a delivery truck that carries cholesterol to cells that need it. Trouble starts when there's too much LDL combined with chronic inflammation, often caused by processed foods, smoking, stress, lack of movement, alcohol, etc. That's when LDL particles get stuck in artery walls, contributing to plaque buildup. Meanwhile, HDL cholesterol is just cleaning up the mess. So the focus shouldn't be on eliminating cholesterol, but on improving the balance between LDL and HDL and reducing inflammation. So the myth that says dietary cholesterol raises to high blood cholesterol is not true. Eating foods high in cholesterol like eggs or shrimp doesn't automatically spike your blood cholesterol levels. For most people, the liver adjusts by producing less cholesterol when you need more of it. That's right. If you don't eat cholesterol-rich foods, your eggs, shrimp, etc., your body is anyway going to produce more cholesterol because that's a requirement. Your body needs cholesterol to function properly. If you don't provide it, it's going to make it anyway. It's important to understand the real drivers of unhealthy cholesterol. Trans fats. Anything fried, processed that you buy from market that's marketed as healthy. I'm talking your cookies, I'm talking your pastries, your cakes, etc. Excess refined carbs and sugars. The third one being sedentary lifestyle and chronic stress. If you're someone who has little to no exercise regime, you're lying on couch all day, stressing about things, that will lead to chronic inflammation in your body. So the real question is how to support healthy cholesterol. Instead of fearing cholesterol, focus on these habits. Eat more healthy fats. I'm talking olive oil, nuts, seeds, avocados, fatty fish. These are the real drivers of health. And reduce on your processed foods, especially those with trans fats or added sugars. Try and include at least some sort of exercise in your daily routine. Regular exercises have been proven to raise your HDL cholesterol over time. Last, prioritize fiber. Fiber is something that is found in oats, beans, fruits, veggies, sugars, and they also help to reduce your LDL. Managing stress and sleep is just as important for healthy cholesterol as what you eat. When you're constantly stressed, your body releases cortisol, which in turn raises LDL and lowers your good cholesterol, that is HDL. Lack of sleep does the same, throwing your hormones off balance and increasing inflammation. So if you're trying to improve your cholesterol, start with the basics. Fix your sleep cycle and your stress. Your heart will thank you for it. For years, we've been taught to side-eye anything oily or creamy on our plates. Cutting out fat is the key to heart health, they say. But here's the truth. The right kind of fats aren't just harmless. They're absolutely essential. One might be thinking, what are those fats I should avoid in order to be healthy? This is why it's important to understand the different kinds of fats. Now, here are the kind of fats you should know. Unsaturated fats. These are the good kinds. These are the heart-healthy fats found in plant-based oils, nuts, seeds, and fatty fish. Some examples of monounsaturated fats are olive oil, avocados, almonds, peanuts. Then comes polyunsaturated fats. These includes walnuts, sunflower seeds, flax seeds, omega-3 rich fish like salmon, mackerel. They help reduce inflammation, support brain function, and protect your heart. Then we have saturated fats. Saturated fats were once demonized, but in moderate amounts, they aren't necessarily harmful. They're found in dairy, coconut oil, and some meats. The key is balance. Too much can raise LDL cholesterol, but a reasonable amount, like the fat in full-fat yogurt or coconut milk, can be part of a healthy diet. Next up are trans fats. These are truly the true villains of our society. These are artificially created fats used to extend the shelf life of processed foods. Think packaged cookies, fried fast foods, and some of your margarine spreads. They not only raise LDL cholesterol but also lower your HDL, the worst combination for your heart. Best to avoid them altogether. We've already talked about misunderstood fats and the fats that you should stay away from altogether. Let's talk about why it is important to include these fats in our diet. There was this emerging study that indicates that deficiencies in essential fatty acids, particularly omega-3s, may be linked to an increased risk of cognitive decline and dementia. Another study published in Frontiers in Neuroscience suggested that adequate levels of omega-3 polyunsaturated fatty acids, especially EPA and DHA, are associated with slower rates of cognitive decline and reduced risk of Alzheimer's disease. Which makes sense if you think about it. Your brain is 60% fat. DHA and omega-3 fatty acid is literally part of your brain structure. Without it, your memory, focus, mood, all of it will take a hit. When I was depressed, alongside being put on antidepressants, I remember my doctor had also prescribed me omega-3 and vitamin D and B12 as my dietary supplements. At that time, I didn't really understand why I had to take them, but looking back at it now, it makes sense. Diets low in these fats may contribute to neurodegenerative diseases. Ever wondered why Mediterranean diets are so often linked to longevity, glowing health, and even sharper brains? It's not just a coincidence. People who follow this way of eating trend tend to have lower rates of dementia and cognitive declines compared to populations eating more of a Western-style diet, and there are stats to prove it. Including healthy fats in your diet, such as those from olive oil, nuts, fatty fish, they have been associated with a reduced risk of cardiovascular diseases, as well as brain diseases. These fats can lower bad cholesterol levels and inflammation, promoting overall heart health, not just brain health. We'll talk more about these benefits when we dive into specific sources of good fats later in this episode. Additionally, healthy fats also contribute to maintaining the integrity of cell membranes, which is essential for skin hydration and elasticity. Adequate fat intake can help prevent dry skin and support a healthy complexion. Including foods like fatty fish, nuts, seed oil, olive oil, even omega-3 supplements can make a noticeable difference in the health of not only your skin but also the appearance of your hair. Obviously, if you're administering it for a few months straight, if you take the supplement for a week and you expect to see massive life-changing results, that is very unlikely. Fats also play a fundamental role when it comes to the production of hormones. A diet lacking in healthy fats can disrupt hormonal balance, potentially affecting mood, energy levels, reproductive health altogether. Research indicates that higher intake of polyunsaturated fatty acids is associated with improved menstrual cycle regularity and hormonal balance. In men, low-fat diets have been shown to decrease testosterone levels. A systematic review and meta-analysis published in European Journal of Clinical Nutrition concluded that low-fat diets lead to reductions in total and free testosterone levels. Another study published in Frontiers in Nutrition found that higher intake of APA and DPA, that is another omega-3 fatty acid, in non-menopausal women was associated with increased estradiol levels, suggesting a role in regulating female reproductive health. A comprehensive review of multiple studies found that supplementing with omega-3 fatty acids can positively influence hormone levels in women, especially with polycystic ovary syndrome, that is PCOS. So if you have PCOS or have any reproductive disorders, supplementing with omega-3 fatty acid might be a good option for you. Of course, running it with your doctor first. Especially for women with PCOS, it was observed when they were put on omega-3 fatty acids, it helped lower luteinizing hormone, that is LH. It's an hormone when elevated can contribute to irregular menstrual cycles. Similarly, they also saw a reduction in total testosterone, which again can cause acne and unwanted hair growth in women. Another noticeable difference was an increase in sex hormone binding globulin, that is SHBG in short. This protein binds to testosterone, reducing its active form in the body. This helps prevent symptoms caused by high testosterone such as acne, unwanted hair growth, irregular periods, etc., and promotes better hormonal balance overall. Now, let's talk about some amazing sources of healthy fats that you should welcome in your diet. Not just for flavor, but for the way they support your overall well-being. These aren't the kind of fats that slow you down or weigh you down. These are the ones that keeps your brain sharp and that you should definitely be eating on a regular basis. First up, olive oil. Extra virgin olive oil is a superstar in one of my favorite books called Genius Foods. It's a book that I recommend to everyone who wants to learn more about nutrition and wants to get into reading. Extra virgin olive oil is rich in something called monounsaturated fats, especially oleic acid, which helps to reduce LDL and keeps your HDL steady. But olive oil is more than just fat. It contains something called polyphenols. It's a plant compound that reduces inflammation, fights oxidative stress, and even protects your brain. Extra virgin olive oil is also rich in compounds for their heart-healthy benefits. Research indicates that olive oil can positively influence cholesterol levels as well. For instance, a systematic review and meta-analysis published in the British Journal of Nutrition in 2023 found that olive oil consumption significantly reduced total cholesterol and LDL cholesterol levels compared to other plant oils. The same review reported a modest increase in HDL cholesterol levels, which is your good cholesterol, with moderate olive oil intake. Additionally, a study published in Nutrients in 2022 highlighted that EVOO, that's your olive oil, polyphenols improve HDL functionality, enhancing its ability to remove cholesterol from the bloodstream. These findings suggest that incorporating olive oil into your diet can help lower LDL cholesterol and improve LDL functionality, contributing to better cardiovascular health. When it comes to olive oil, it's the quality that matters most. Slightly heating with olive oil is fine, but frankly, I avoid even that. The best way to incorporate olive oil into your diet is to use it raw in salads, drizzle over roasted veggies, or simply stir in soups. Second, avocados. Avocados are packed with monounsaturated fats, fiber, potassium, and magnesium. These nutrients not only help lower LDL, but also improve HDL levels. Plus, the fiber slows down digestion and helps to regulate blood sugar, which indirectly protects your heart. Avocados are also rich in monounsaturated fats that have been linked to improved cholesterol profiles. There's this research that was published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition in 2018 found that avocado consumption significantly increased HDL cholesterol levels by approximately 2.84 milligrams deciliter. Additionally, another study in the Journal of the American Heart Association in 2022 observed that daily avocado intake reduced total and LDL cholesterol levels in adults with elevated baseline cholesterol, suggesting a beneficial effect on heart health. This is simply brilliant. In order to include avocado in your diet, you could simply use it on your toast, salads, smoothies, or even mashed as a snack with a couple of eggs with a sprinkle of seeds. Third, fatty fish and cod liver oil. Omega-3s, particularly EPA and DHA, are essential for heart and brain health. Fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, sardines, and cod liver oil supplements reduce inflammation, lower triglycerides, and improve HDL and slightly reduce LDL particle size, making them less likely to form plaques. Omega-3 fatty acids, primarily found in fatty fish like salmon or mackerel, are renowned for their cardiovascular benefits. While researching for this episode, I came across a study. It was a comprehensive meta-analysis published in the Journal of the American Heart Association in 2023. It basically demonstrated that omega-3 intake significantly lowers triglyceride levels and non-HDL cholesterol, which includes the LDL particles. Moreover, another study in Frontiers in Nutrition in 2021 highlighted that omega-3 fatty acids enhance HDL functionality by improving particle size and composition, contributing to better cholesterol transport and reduced cardiovascular risk. I always include a cod liver oil supplement in my diet, but if you're a vegetarian, you can also consider algae-based DHA supplements. Fourth, nuts. I'm talking almonds, walnuts, pistachios. All are rich in healthy fats, fiber, and antioxidants. Walnuts in particular are high in something called ALA, which is a form of omega-3, which supports HDL and lowers LDL. A handful a day, let's say 25 to 30 grams, should be enough. But if you do plan on getting nuts, maybe avoid salted or overly sugarly coated versions. Fifth, dark chocolate. This is by far one of my favorites. Dark chocolate is rich in something called flavonoids. A dark chocolate can modestly raise your HDL and improve your endothelial function, that is, the lining of your arteries. Look for 70% cacao or higher when you're looking for a dark chocolate, And keep your portions small, maybe 1 to 2 squares a day, or especially if you're craving something sweet right after your meals. Furthermore, and this is really interesting, a meta-analysis I found in Food Science and Nutrition in 2023 revealed that cocoa or dark chocolate consumption was significantly associated with increased HDL cholesterol levels, though the effects on LDL and total cholesterol were minimal. This is super interesting. Whenever I have my oats, I always make it a point to use cacao or carob powder instead of your normal cocoa powder that you see in stores today. Cacao or carob powder is not only more rich in antioxidants, but is also less refined than cocoa powder. So if you're looking for an alternative, this just might be it. 7th, this might be just one of my favorites, MCT oil. I don't know if you've heard of MCT oil before, but it is an ally when it comes to migraine and for keeping your brain health in check. There's an emerging research that suggests that medium-chain triglyceride, which is MCT oil in short, it is something that is derived from coconut oil, may offer relief for migraine sufferers. If you're someone who has frequent migraines or headaches, this one is for you. There was a study conducted which included pilots. They found that the participants who consumed a high concentration of MCT complex experienced a 39% reduction in migraine frequency, a 61% decrease in episode duration, and a 60% drop in days lost due to dysfunction over 30 days. Beyond migraine relief, MCT oil is also associated with improved cognitive function. A study published in BMC Geriatrics reported that MCT supplementation was linked to better cognitive outcomes in older adults, particularly in areas like memory and attention. This is attributed to MCT's ability to rapidly convert ketones. Now, what are ketones? Ketones are molecules your body produces when it burns fat for energy instead of carbs. Your brain, muscles, and other organs can use ketones as fuel, especially during fasting, low-carb diets, or ketogenic diets. Unlike other fats, MCT are rapidly absorbed and transported to the liver, where they can quickly be converted into ketones. When you consume MCTs, your liver can turn them into ketones real fast, providing quick energy for your brain and body without needing glucose. That is why MCT oil is popular among people on ketogenic diets. It helps to raise ketone levels without full carb restriction. It is important to note that MCT oil is not an essential fat. Your body still needs other healthy fats like omega-3s, olive oil, avocados. And too much MCT oil can cause stomach upset, diarrhea, and even nausea in some people. So if you do plan on getting on it, maybe start with 1 teaspoon or 1 tablespoon and build up from there. It's energy, not a fat loss miracle, so it still contains a lot of calories. I personally prefer to add MCT oil to my coffee, smoothies, or salad dressing, or maybe a dal or a vegetable that I've prepared. And I especially make sure to include MCT oil in my diet on days when I'm feeling super overwhelmed or very, very lethargic. It really helps with my anxiety and also with any mood swings I have and just improves my day. I hope this episode has helped you see that understanding fats isn't about fearing them, but about making wise choices. Instead of avoiding them, focus on nourishing options that provide lasting energy and support your overall well-being. By moving past the myths and paying attention to the quality of the fats we eat, we can enjoy food that's both satisfying and truly good for our health. Ultimately, achieving sustainable health means moving past outdated myths and aligning your diet with the latest research while simultaneously listening closely to your body's signals. That combination of science and self-awareness is what truly matters. That brings us to the end of today's episode. Thank you for being here with me. And I hope you enjoyed this deep dive into fats and that maybe you've learned a few new ways to think about nourishing your body. Stay healthy, stay happy, and stay sound. Hit that notification button so you never miss an episode. And if this one resonated with you, please give it a like. I'd love to hear your takeaways from today, so feel free to reach out directly. You can find me on Instagram at SUWARNA_JOSHI_podcast or shoot me an email at SUWARNAJOSHI1515 @gmail.com. See you next time.